Hey everyone, welcome back to EasySpeakWorld with Maya and Ethan, your favorite place where you learn real English through real conversations. Okay, so I have to ask you something right away, and I really want you to think about this. Have you ever had one of those days where literally everything goes wrong? Like you wake up late, you spill coffee on your shirt, you miss the bus, and then someone at work or school says something annoying and you just snap? And then, and this is the part that gets me, someone near you says completely cheerfully, "Hey, just be positive." And in that moment, do you want to hug them or do you want to scream?
I know exactly what you mean, Maya, and I think most people honestly want to scream, just a little.
Right? Like, thank you for the advice, but also not helpful right now. And as always, I've got Ethan here with me, and today we are diving into something that we all talk about, but maybe don't fully understand: the power of positivity, what it actually means, why it matters, and more importantly, why it's so much harder than it sounds.
Yeah, Maya, I think that's the key thing, because just be positive is one of the most overused pieces of advice in the world. And I get why people say it, but positivity, real positivity, is actually a skill. It's not a mood you switch on.
Ooh, I love that. A skill, not a mood. We are going to come back to that, but first, listeners, I want to know, when you're having a bad day, what's the one thing people say to you that kind of drives you crazy? Drop it in the comments. We read every single one. And also, if you're new here, welcome. We do this every week. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. It means the world to us.
Absolutely. And once you subscribe, come back and tell us, are you naturally a positive person, or do you have to really work at it? We want to know. Are you naturally positive, or do you work at it? What positivity is not?
Okay, so let's start with something that might actually surprise people. Because when most of us hear "be positive," we imagine like a person who smiles all the time, someone who never complains, someone who always says, "It's fine, everything is fine," even when it is absolutely not fine.
Right. And that version of positivity, psychologists actually have a name for it. They call it toxic positivity.
Wait, toxic positivity. That's such a perfect phrase. Say more.
So toxic positivity is when you refuse to acknowledge difficult emotions. You push them away. You pretend they don't exist. Someone tells you, "I'm really struggling right now." And the response is, "Well, look on the bright side." And that person feels dismissed, unheard. It actually makes things worse.
Oh, that is so real. I've been on both sides of that, honestly. I've been the person who said, "Just stay positive," to a friend who was going through something genuinely hard. And I meant well, I really did. But looking back, I don't think it helped at all.
Yeah, the intention is good, but the impact is different. And I think that's actually a really important English phrase right there: intention versus impact. What you mean isn't always what the other person receives.
So if toxic positivity is the wrong version, what's the right version? Like, what does real positivity actually look like?
Okay, so I like to think of it this way. Real positivity is not about pretending things are fine. It's about believing, even when things are hard, that you have the ability to get through it. There's a difference between "everything is great" and "this is tough, but I can handle it."
Oh, okay, yes. That's actually a huge distinction, because the first one is a lie you tell yourself, and the second one is a kind of quiet strength.
Exactly. It's more like resilience wrapped in hope.
Resilience wrapped in hope. Can we make that into a t-shirt? Because I would wear that.
Fair. Actually, yes.
Okay, but here's what I want to know, because I'm kind of a show me the evidence type of person. Is there actually science behind this? Like, does positivity physically change something in your brain or your body, or is it just a nice idea?
Oh, it's very real. So there's a researcher, Barbara Fredrickson. She developed something called the broaden and build theory. And the basic idea is that positive emotions don't just feel good. They actually expand your awareness. They open up your thinking. When you're in a positive state of mind, you're more creative, more open to new ideas, more likely to connect with other people.
Wait, that's so interesting. So it's not just about feeling better, it's about thinking better?
Exactly. And contrast that with negative emotions, fear, stress, anger. Those emotions do the opposite. They narrow your thinking. They put you in survival mode. You focus on the threat right in front of you, and everything else kind of disappears.
Oh, that explains so much. Because have you ever noticed that when you're really stressed, like exam stressed or deadline stressed, you actually make worse decisions? You forget things? Your brain just doesn't cooperate?
Oh, absolutely. That's your nervous system narrowing its focus. It's actually a survival response. It made sense for our ancestors when they were running from predators. Not so great when you're trying to write an essay or give a presentation.
Yeah, the being chased by a lion mode is not ideal for modern life, although sometimes Mondays feel like that.
Yes, Mondays are basically lions in calendar form. Coming up, we'll talk about how to actually build positivity as a daily habit, not motivation poster stuff, practical things that real people actually do. Stay with us. Positivity as a daily practice.
Okay, so let's get into the practical stuff, because I think this is what people really need. Because it's one thing to say, be more positive, it's another thing to actually know how. So Ethan, if someone is a naturally pessimistic person, or just someone who's been through a lot and positivity feels kind of fake to them, where do they even start?
Yeah, that's the real question. And I think the first thing I'd say is stop trying to feel positive and start trying to notice small, good things. That's it. It sounds almost too simple, but it's rooted in something called gratitude practice, and the research behind it is actually really strong.
Okay, so gratitude practice. I've heard this a lot, but I feel like a lot of people roll their eyes at it because it sounds like something from a self-help book with a sunset on the cover.
Fair. But here's what makes it work when it actually works. It's not be grateful for your life. That's too big. It's more like, at the end of the day, you find 3 genuinely specific things that went okay. Not amazing, just okay. The coffee was good. The traffic wasn't bad. You had one funny conversation.
See, that I can do, because asking me to be grateful for my entire life feels overwhelming. But name 3 small okay things, that's actually doable.
Right. And what you're doing is training your brain to scan for good things instead of bad ones. Your brain is kind of like a spotlight. It can only focus on so much. And by habit, most of us have the spotlight pointed at problems.
Oh, I love that metaphor, the spotlight. And gratitude practice is like slowly, gradually tilting the spotlight in a different direction.
Exactly. It doesn't happen overnight, but over weeks, it genuinely shifts how you perceive things.
Okay, what else? Because I feel like there's also something about the people around you, right? Like who you spend time with really affects how you see the world.
100%. There's actually a concept, emotional contagion. It means that emotions are literally contagious, like a cold, but for feelings. If you spend most of your time with people who are chronically negative, who complain constantly, who expect the worst, you start to absorb that without even realizing it.
Okay, wait, so you're saying negativity is infectious?
Yep, and so is positivity. Studies show that happiness can spread through social networks, meaning if your friend's friend becomes happier, it actually increases your chance of being happier too, even if you don't know them directly.
That is wild and kind of beautiful. Like every positive thing you do, it ripples out. You don't even see it happening.
Yeah, it's one of those things that makes you realize your emotional state is not just personal. It affects people around you. It has a kind of social responsibility.
Okay, and I want to push back on this a little because I think it's important. Does this mean we should avoid negative people? Like cut them off? Because that feels a bit harsh.
No, and I'm glad you said that. It's not about cutting people off. It's about being intentional. You can love someone who is struggling. You can support them. But you also need to protect your own energy. You can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't pour from an empty cup. Okay, that's a phrase I want listeners to remember. Write it down. Or better, tell us in the comments, what does that phrase mean to you in your own life? Okay, one more thing I want to touch on before we wrap up, because I think there's a really common misconception that positive people never have negative thoughts. And I just want to say, that is not true at all.
Oh, absolutely not. I think the most positive, grounded people I know are not the ones who never doubt themselves or never feel low. They're the ones who feel it and don't let it become their identity. There's a difference between I'm having a hard day and I am a hard person to live with.
Oh, wow. Say that again.
There's a difference between I'm having a hard day and I am a difficult person. The first one is temporary.
The second one becomes a belief about yourself, and that belief can be really damaging if you hold on to it too long.
This is so important for language learners too, by the way, because I talk to so many people who say things like, I'm just bad at English. And I always want to say, you're not bad at English. You're in the process of learning English. That's completely different.
Yes, the language you use about yourself matters. It actually shapes how you see yourself. Saying, I can't do this yet, instead of I can't do this, that one little word changes everything. Yet. It implies progress. It implies possibility.
The power of yet. I love that. And honestly, that applies to English learning, to careers, to relationships, to everything. You're not there yet, but you're on your way.
Okay, we are coming up on time. And I just want to take a second here because I feel like this conversation actually went somewhere real today. Like we started with just be positive and ended up talking about spotlight metaphors, contagious emotions, and the word yet. That's a journey.
It is. But I think that's the thing about positivity. When you actually look closely at it, there's so much more underneath. It's not a bumper sticker. It's a practice. It's a choice you make over and over again, on the good days and especially on the hard ones.
Especially on the hard ones. And I think for me, the biggest takeaway from today is you don't have to be positive all the time. You just have to believe that the hard thing you're in right now is not permanent. And that belief, that's where the real power lives.
And practically, try the gratitude practice. Just 3 small, okay things at the end of your day. See how it feels after 2 weeks. I think you'll be surprised.
Yes. And listeners, remember the vocabulary from today. Toxic positivity, acknowledge, resilience, emotional contagion, intentional, and the power of yet. Use them. Say them out loud. That's how you make them yours.
If this episode resonated with you, share it with one person who might need to hear it today. That's the emotional contagion working in your favor.
I love that. Spread the good stuff. And subscribe if you haven't already. We are here every single week, showing up for you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, everyone. And remember, you're not there yet, but you are absolutely on your way.
Take care, everyone.